Nigeria has a new president. Bola Ahmed Tinibu has just taken his oath of office, where he has pledged to abide by the constitution and the law, and has vowed that his personal interest will not becloud his judgment in his capacity as president. He's signing the document.
Today, the 29th day of May 2023, a day that has been dreaded so far, a day many Nigerians have viewed as a day of succor, a day of much sorrow, a day that Nigerians feel there was going to be redemption, a day who many thought would be postponed as a result of the ongoing petition against the president-elect. But here we are, inaugurations closely done and dusted, and Asiwaju is the president of Nigeria. My name is Angelo Himalayas. Welcome to Nation's Voice Tower. The 29th day of May 2023 is here again, as I said earlier, and the inauguration and swearing-in ceremony of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinibu, the president-elect, and Kashim Shettima, the vice president, is ongoing, if not done and dusted. Now, speeches here have been made here and there, and the remarks have been made as well, okay? And different felicitations are ongoing right now, okay, on this Monday that Nigerians have labeled as Black Monday, okay, a day democracy was buried, according to lots of Nigerians. Now, prominent amongst the attendees in this particular occasion today are President Adama Barrow of Gambia, and then President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa. Then we have former President Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya, and then international observers from the US and London, that is the UK, and then foreign investors alike from France, Russia, and Switzerland, respectively. Before we go further, I would like you to watch a brief video of the swearing-in of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinibu. So we'll have a recap of when the Chief Justice of the Federation, Chief Justice Kayode Ariwola, swore in the president-elect and his vice. Watch it.
I don't know where.
Nigeria has a new president. Bola Ahmed Tinibu has just taken his oath of office, where he has pledged to abide by the constitution and the law, and has vowed that his personal interest will not becloud his judgment in his capacity as president. He's signing the documents. Eagle Square is agog. Chants of hooray and rapturous applause as he was taking the oath of office. He was accompanied to the podium not just by family, but now former President Muhammadu Buhari and First Lady Dr. Aisha Buhari. He campaigned with the Renewed Hope slogan, and the theme of today's inauguration is still works on Together and Hope. Those two elements which Nigerians are hoping can unite the country as he begins his tenure as president. He's already promised that he will hit the ground running. Now, with the conclusion of the swearing-in ceremonies, Nigerians are going to be looking and waiting for the first few appointments he's likely to make today.
All right, I would heave a sigh of relief there, but we'll say tomorrow, the 30th day of May 2023, the day is set aside for judgment to be passed by the Court of Appeal on the ongoing petition filed by the Labour Party against the now president of Nigeria, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinibu. Well, lots of petitions and lots of netizens alike and Nigerians feel that tomorrow is going to also be redemption day if 29th was not. So on our update next, I have former President Goodluck Jonathan on the block, and he has an advice for we all Nigerians, and he has his own take on the ongoing inauguration and on the conduct of INEC during the just concluded general elections. Now, former President Goodluck Jonathan rather reiterated that he regretted appointing someone he never knew, which is no one but Professor Tahiru Jega, as the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, and making him an electoral umpire, someone he didn't know of, someone he couldn't vouch of. Okay, now President Goodluck Jonathan is saying this in the wake of the occurrences, the lack of following of guidelines, the excess misconduct and political malpractice and electoral misbehavior of INEC in the just concluded general elections. Now, furthermore, Jonathan blamed election rigging on the INEC furthermore, and then he also blamed it on security agencies, accusing them of turning a blind eye to irregularities and malpractices during elections. In the wake of the swearing-in ceremony of Asiwaju, okay, at the Eagle Square in Abuja, it's quite obvious, of course, that the mood of the country generally is because of the issues that have been brought during the elections. Okay, now, in my own opinion, I'll allow you watch former President Goodluck Jonathan while he actually faced Arise News reporter and presenter to tell him his own take on the just concluded elections and the way to take for Nigeria. Watch him.
We're inaugurating the president-elect Ahmed Bola Tinibu and the vice president-elect Senator Shetima. Their own mood is slightly different because President Buhari has graciously served 8 years. God has helped him serve 8 years. And is handing over, not to another political party, but is handing over to his own political party. So the circumstances presently is quite different. But I know the mood of the country generally is because of the issues bordering on the elections. So some people are happy, some people are sad, so all kinds of sentiments and feelings. In my own time, especially the 2015 election, my ministers, my senior officers, people who worked with me, there was this fear that this one that we've lost the election, what would be our fate? Would the new government just throw all of us into jail without giving us even fair hearing? Because government is next to God, can decide to do anything. That fear was in the minds of people. Some people feel, could I even run away? Should I stay in the country? But to them, that will not be much of a problem because it's the same party that has taken over. So the tension we faced then, the Buhari's team may not face the same tension. Yes, some few people may have some issues that bother them, but on the average, they will not have that kind of feeling. But it used to be tense, really. And by this time, then of course already I've considered defeat to the president. So that was completely over. And I knew why I considered defeat, because I was more interested in the country than myself, which I advise every politician to be more interested in the country than themselves. Without a country, there will be no president. So I know it used to be tense. The problem we have is the electoral management body, INEC, and the security. And I used to give an example. If two soccer teams are playing and the referee decides to look the other way, they will enjoy themselves. If people are contesting for elections, should expect that it's like a soccer game, everybody wants to win. And you must not allow it. The electoral management bodies share more than 60% of the blame. Because if they do their work well, the politicians will have no choice than to follow the rules. They, the security, and the courts. I believe one day we'll get there, but I feel sad now that our electoral process is still wobbling. So we have migrated from candidate to beaver, which is a superior technology. Why do we still have problems? Manual voting, we have problems in this country. Electronic, we have. So where is the problem coming from? Is the independent the electoral management bodies, INEC in this case. INEC has to sit up so that they will not throw this country into conflagration one day. And people must be serious. INEC must sit up. We should commission one of these internationally known IT companies. They will want to protect their image and allow them to build a system for us and also manage it during our elections. We can train our people, but they should manage it. That this last election, they say, oh, one director in charge of IT did this or did not do that. If you bring Google or one of these giants and they agree to build it and manage it for you, there will be nobody in Nigeria will not be involved. So it should be completely neutral. And probably when we get to that level where all those who have smartphones will not need to go to any place to vote. You bring out take it, go to your unit and press the button and you vote. You can vote in your kitchen, you can vote in your bedroom, you can vote in your sitting room, you can vote in your car. Even if you're in the US, you can vote. But one thing about Nigeria, which I believe we must correct, and which a decision I took when I was the vice president, that if I have the opportunity to be corrected, is this idea of a conduct of elections. Probably that made me to appoint somebody I did not even know to be the electoral umpire. And a number of people say you did the wrong thing. Some people felt, well, you wanted to correct something. I feel worried that in Nigeria, our elections are still so controversial. We have not accepted our electoral results. We are the giant of Africa. If we have not gone to the moon, then at least we should be in position to lead Africa in terms of democracy. We should be able to conduct free and fair elections that other African countries say, look, why not do what Nigeria has done?
All right, welcome back. This is Nation's Voice Tower, your most preferred YouTube channel. I would urge our incoming subscribers to please tap the subscribe button. Then I would also tell our already existing lovely and most amiable subscribers to also not to forget to tap the notification bell so you could get notifications anytime we drop new videos or new content. Then as generally, I would also urge you all to please watch till the end, and then also drop a comment for us in the comment section if you feel any indifferent from what we're saying here. Yes, YouTube uses these particular actions to make our videos go viral for you and for us. No, furthermore, I have something quite different from the ordinary, something so humorous and funny though, but it's still the truth. President Muhammadu Buhari, in the wake of the inauguration ceremony of the government of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinibu, the now president of Nigeria, and then Senator Kashim Shettima, his vice, okay, during this inauguration, outgoing President Muhammadu Buhari gave a speech and he spoke about his alleged tiredness from governance and his journey back to Daura in Katsina State, his hometown. Okay, he furthermore in his speech spoke about the fact that he was going back to Daura to attend to his flock of sheep and cows who were more controllable and more obedient than Nigerians. That was funny to me though. So I felt I should cut this particular footage from this interview, or from this speech rather, from President Muhammadu Buhari, and share with our most lovely viewers. I find it so humorous, but for President Muhammadu Buhari to reiterate such a statement, likening Nigerians to cows and sheep, that is something quite checking, okay, or worth checking. Let me allow you to watch the clip. When you come back, I'll give you my take on this video. Watch it.
I congratulate fellow Nigerians who have realized their power, that their votes count. I'm looking forward to tomorrow to fly to my base and go back to my cows and sheep, which are much easier to control than fellow Nigerians. But I have to reduce their number because I cannot save enough to buy them feeds. Your Excellencies, heads of state and government, and their representatives that come to share this day with us, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much. And I said goodbye to you, and I wish us the best of luck. Thank you very much.
All right, welcome back. That's funny for me. I have been reiterating this while giving the updates. That's funny for me though, because if you ask me, I would say that President Muhammadu Buhari is just this dogged fellow whose doggedness is so famous with the way he carries himself, the way he actually governs the country, or he governed the country rather, or the way he makes statements. President Muhammadu Buhari makes statements without minding anyone. Of course, wearing visitors, when he said his wife belonged to the other room, that's first. Wearing visitors too, when PMB, as he was fondly called, made the statement that he is for nobody and for everybody, something like that. Weren't also visitors when President Muhammadu Buhari told us that Nigerian youths were lazy and so on and so forth. So I'm not really surprised this statement is coming from same president, same lips and same tongue. Okay, so politically now, let me look at this politically. Politically, it's a statement to make because of course, as the English adage goes, on easy wears the head, on easy lies the head that wears the crown. Okay, so whoever has a public office to himself, be a governor, a senator, a National Assembly, legislative officer, or a president, minister, what have you, there are lots of issues accrued to these particular offices that even you and I wouldn't be able to serve in a day. That is why these parastatals have directors, they have workers, staff, junior and senior alike, to help with the smooth and swift running of activities in these ministries. Okay, so for President Muhammadu Buhari to prefer his hometown in Daura to the government house, the most comfortable place in Nigeria, if you would ask me, that means really it's not easy to govern the country in Nigeria. Rewind to some years back, 8 years to be precise, when President Muhammadu Buhari was trying to assume office during his campaign activities, or his rallies in different states, to be precise, Sokoto State. He reiterated that he couldn't wait to govern the country, and so on and so forth and all that. Okay, but right now, I tell you what, PMB is not saying the same story, because he has served for 8 years and he can't even score himself or he can't even rate himself out of 100 after serving Nigeria for 8 years. Okay, President Muhammadu Buhari could only leave few legacies that could be termed as a sort of armchair decisions that were made politically in order to achieve a sort of stable democratic system, or in order to revive the second polity that has been termed as one of the most biggest problems of Nigeria over time. Now, finally, on my update list, I have someone, an attorney, a barrister, Esquire, I would call him, and a publicity expert, Liberos Oshoma. He spoke about the possibility of Asiwaju's government being removed, okay? And he also spoke about the quick abasion, or let me say the quick end of Asiwaju and Shetima's government. Now, mind you, Liberos Oshoma is an APC barrister, or is a legal practitioner for the APC, okay? But he couldn't really quote his statement because he had to speak what the law says, and he had to abide, or he had to speak standing on the jurisdiction of the judiciary. So as a lawyer, he spoke from a kind of transparent point of view, and he said, yes, it is no longer, at least it's not late to stop the swearing in of Asiwaju, and it is not late even after he becomes president, unless the law says he has actually won the petition at the tribunal, okay? But in any case, if he loses at the tribunal, that means Shetima and Asiwaju could yet be sacked or disqualified, okay? Now, furthermore, Liberos Oshoma contended that the verdict had if the verdict favored the petitioners, attorneys would have placed more importance in appearances other than that importance in pertinent legal issues. Without saying much, let me allow you to listen to Liberos Oshoma when he came on board on the interview on TVC News. Watch him.
Not at all. Not at all. I've listened to quite a number of persons saying, the president-elect should not be sworn in until after the disposition of the matter at the tribunal. But unfortunately, that is not our jurisprudential practice. That's not our practice. that's alien to us. We are not the type that take matters outside or that dispose of matters before swearing in. We've seen cases where even governors that have been sworn in have been ousted from office. And so this is not the first time we're having such matters. Right from the return to democracy in 1999, we've seen cases where election petitions handled, way after swearing in. It was even what advised the amendment to the Electoral Act and amendment to the Constitution to reduce the time for litigation at the election petition and also to reduce the time for pre-election matters. If you remember the case of Peter Obi and Ngige, it took almost 3 years into the administration of Ngige before judgment was eventually delivered. After that case, the legislatures in their wisdom decided that they would no longer allow election petitions to drag on ad infinitum. And so the number of days were reduced to 150 days. So it is not part of our jurisprudence that election petitions should be disposed of before swearing in. So this is not new. We've also seen where governors have taken oath of office and the courts ousted them from office and then they relinquished the power. We've also seen situations where, although pre-election matters, a day to swearing in, courts decides otherwise. So this is not new. That's why I said law is dealt with facts and law and not sentiment or whatever anybody thinks. So I do not think, to answer your question directly, I do not think that it will affect, the outcome of the election petition tribunal. Anybody that can influence the election petition tribunal, before swearing in can also influence. Anybody that can influence it after swearing in can also influence it before swearing in. We keep talking about time here. If you give them the petition was filed, sometimes election was conducted in February, petition was filed in March, and you have 180 days, which is 6 months within which to deal with that petition. And if you give 7 weeks to each party, at the end of the day, before one party finishes its case, that petition, the time for the petition would have lapsed. And that will mean the tribunal will be denied of the opportunity to deliver judgment on the matter because the moment it is 180 days, that petition automatically is dead. There's nothing that can resolve it. So to avoid that, the tribunal had to allot time to each party and ensure, like I said, expert witnesses are allotted 30 minutes for examination in chief because they do not have witness deposition on oath. But for witnesses that have their deposition already on oath and have been filed in court, all they are just coming to do is to adopt the statement. Is this your statement?
All right.
Yes. How do you recognize it? I recognize it because my signature is there. And what do you want the court to do with this? I want the court to take this as my testimony.
Thank you very much, Mr. Libros.
All right, yeah, Libros Oshoma there. There are esquires and there are esquires. There are legal practitioners. There are legal practitioners. There are senior advocates of Nigeria and there are senior advocates of Nigeria. So when an authority in law like Libros Oshoma comes to speak, okay, ears listen, fix rattle, okay, brain stick. And we wouldn't say much because he is a master in his field. He has an expertise in law, and I wouldn't love to drag or mince or words or double in words with him. The truth is, he belongs to the ruling party, and then I don't expect a political lawyer to say anything different from what Libros said in that interview. A brief one, though. I had to cut a sort of footage from the main interview so we could focus on the issues at hand, issues pertaining to the second polity and the dented democratic system in Nigeria. Lots of Nigerians fail today democracy was buried. Lots of Nigerians feel today democracy was trampled upon. Lots of Nigerians feel today the swearing in day of Asiwaju and Shetima, democracy has been submerged and justice has been thrown away through the window. But we'll keep our fingers crossed for the petition the petition ongoing at the Court of Appeal, talking about the one filed by the Labour Party that's to take place tomorrow. So I will urge all Nigerians to please keep your fingers crossed and your heads up, because tomorrow is a court sitting proceeding day. Thanks for joining us. See you in my next video. Bye.